Welcome to Rimmington in the year 169 of the 5th Age. It's a small village nestled in the southwest of Asgarnia and home to only a few citizens. There is little lore surrounding the village, though it is notable to many as a starting place to train construction. The people of Rimmington live a relatively peaceful life, with nearby farmlands and a reasonable mine. Notable within the area is the Crafting Guild, a group of master craftspeople who set up a guild for their skill. Beyond them is the Makeover Mage, a wizard with the power to change the gender of themselves at will and others for a price. The people of Rimmington are mostly farmers and miners, though two others are of note: Romick, an apprentice craftsman who sells wares used to train crafting, and Brian, a fletcher who sells bows and arrows. Another mysterious resident is Hetty, a reclusive older lady. She is quite secretive of her past and doesn't let many people into her house, however. Despite the small size of the village, being set upon the coast does grant it some use as a port for lands in the Southern Sea. 30 years ago, when a citizen of Crandor Island disturbed the rest of the dragon Elvarg, the surviving people of Crandor made their way to the mainland here near Rimmington. Elvarg burned their camp down, leaving only 3 survivors: Valzar, Lozar, and Melzar. The 3 wizards split up the only remaining map to Crandor in an effort to keep this tragedy from being repeated. While Valzar journeyed north beyond Falador and Lozar journeyed east to Lumbridge, Melzar remained near Rimmington and transformed the remains of the camp into the aptly titled Melzar's Maze. He lost his sanity at some point following the destruction caused by Elvarg and is now locked away in the maze, now known only as Melzar the Mad. After his journey from Tutorial Island, Citizenscape has arrived on the dock near Rimmington, eager to integrate himself as the newest member of their village. For today, Citizenscape will be looking to work his way towards becoming a Tier 1 citizen in Rimmington. This will mean completing the Tier 1 tasks within this area. As a reminder, this means completing novice quests, easy achievement diaries, and skills up to level 30. I'll also be completing a few other tasks in the area. As a short clarification of the rules, I do not need to get level 30 in each skill before moving on to the next settlement. I will need to get at least level 30 before I move on to the next tier, but for now tasks will be set below level 30 across the map, especially while in my first location of Rimmington. I am, however, allowed to progress beyond 30 in a skill. Even at this stage, it's not set as a hard cap. The level is only there to give me an idea of what may be accomplishable by a regular citizen. As you'll see in this video, I will be able to progress beyond level 30. While I'll be completing tasks set for the people of Rimmington, I do not need to stay exclusively in the area to do this. In many cases, especially at this early stage of the game, it would be impossible for me to complete many tasks without venturing beyond this small area. While I am not playing as an Iron Man, I will be keeping relatively self-sufficient, especially at first. As you'll see later, I will need to both venture out elsewhere and rely on others for a few things, notably for construction and for farming. I'll also be allowed to use the Grand Exchange, though I won't be using it much until I reach Varrock if I can help it. To keep things fresh, while I know what I need to accomplish in a given area, I don't have much of a plan in place for leveling up my skills, as you'll see in this video. I'll be looking to train within the area, which will allow me to learn about what lies within a given area. While I am knowledgeable about old school RuneScape in general, Citizenscape is fresh off the boat and will be acting as such, largely learning by using the skills he discovered on Tutorial Island and by talking to people in-game. So what does all this mean? What tasks are there for me to accomplish in this video? Let's start with the skills grind. To impress the citizens of Rimmington, I will need to make use of the local resources. Let's start with the obvious. Just to the northeast of Rimmington is a mine. This mine contains clay, copper, tin, iron, and gold. Tin, copper, and clay each only have a level 1 mining requirement, whereas iron and gold have a level 15 and 40 requirement respectively. Because the skill requirements are capped at level 30 for this tier, we will only need to get our mining up to level 15 to mine iron. There's also a bush patch requiring at least level 10 farming to use. With level 10 farming, we can plant red berries. I will however be looking to get level 22 farming for cadaver berries, with the goal of planting a cadaver berry bush. Next up is a woodcutting. There are normal trees, oak trees, willow trees and yew trees in the immediate area. These trees have a level 1, 15, 30 and 60 woodcutting requirement respectively. While this would normally mean getting level 30 woodcutting for willow trees, the willow trees are a little way out of the Rimmington area and not really iconic to Rimmington or its people. I will be working towards level 15 woodcutting for oak trees. I will need level 15 in firemaking to burn these logs, while I'll also be working towards level 20 fletching to make oak shortbows as well. On the coast between Rimmington and Port Sarim are a few fishing spots containing shrimp, sardines, herring and anchovies. I will need to work my way up to level 15 to catch the highest of these anchovies, while also making sure to catch shrimp, herring and sardines along the way. I will be cooking these fish, though the highest cooking requirement for these is level 5 cooking for the herring. Shrimp, sardine and anchovies each only have a level 1 cooking requirement, despite their different fishing level requirements. My goals will be a little more lofty however, as I intend to get level 21 cooking. There is a dairy churn located in the makeover mage's house, which will allow me to make a pot of cream by churning milk from the nearby cows, so that will be the cooking goal today. Finally for skills, I'll be working on construction to build myself a house in Rimmington and become a citizen. Simply purchasing an unfurnished house will not make a great impression on the locals, so I do intend to work my way up to level 20 and add on a bedroom as my goal here today. Other than those skills, I do have a few other tasks I intend to achieve. I have 3 combat tasks, as you'll see soon enough. This includes killing goblins, rats and imps. I also have the Witch's Potion quest that I will need to complete for Hetty. While we might normally have some achievement diary tasks to complete, not today. There are no easy level tasks within the Rimmington area. Finally, for today's miscellaneous tasks, I will be supporting the local businesses by purchasing from the general store, Romex's crafty supplies and Brian's archery supplies. I will also make friends with the local couple, Anya and Hengel, so that they will let me use their range. I will be collecting a sack of both cabbage and onion from the local farm and giving it to them to help out with the crop harvesting efforts. And finally, I'll need to visit the makeover mage to make friends. All of this and plenty more. Stay tuned for today's episode. So the Halloween event is going on while I'm filming this, as you can see. Rimmington seems to enjoy the spooky season, so they've decorated the village. Let's check out the place. Hi, I'm new here. I'm Citizenscape. What can you tell me about this place?
This is the general store. We sell some goods that may be of use. If you're new, I would suggest a newcomer map.
Oh, really? How much is that?
Just 1 gold piece.
Oh, I have all this gear on me, but I must have left my money in the bank. Is there a bank here in Rimmington?
No, but if you follow that road up north to Falador, you'll find one there.
I need to drop this stuff off at the bank and grab some money for that newcomer map. Thankfully now Citizenscape knows where to find a bank and learned how to use them on Tutorial Island. On the way here, Citizenscape noticed a mine near Rimmington. I'll be keeping my pickaxe on my person for now. Let's get a couple of coins out and buy that map. We can see here on the map with the flashing X that we're in Rimmington. There are a few other places on here like Falador, Edgeville, Varrock, Lumbridge, Alcara, Draenor Village and Port Sarim. They'll be good to come back to later. There are a few places missing like the Wizard's Tower, Taverley, but Citizenscape doesn't know that. Time to introduce myself to the locals and check the place out a bit. And so Citizenscape chats with each of the locals. We have a house with 2 kids, Henya and Angel. They've been brought up well and don't talk to strangers. We're looking to become a local, so we won't be a stranger forever. Upstairs, I find their parents, Anya and Hengel. Anya and Hen will work in the field and mine respectively, so they tell me where I can find ores and crops. Brian and Romick own the archery and crafting supply stores and show me their wares. Brian has a bit of a rat problem, it seems. I don't really have much money, so I'll have to come back later if I want to buy anything. I check in with Hetty too. One of the kids told me that she's a witch, though perhaps that's only for Halloween.
What could you want with an old woman like me?
I'd heard that you're a witch.
Yes, it does seem to be getting fairly common knowledge.
Well, it seems the kids were right. It's not just for Halloween. She seems friendly enough for a witch, though.
I fear I may get a visit from the witch hunters of Falador before long.
It's kind of sad that we never see anything like this in the game. They should add a mini-quest where the Falador witch hunters have a bounty on the witches in the area like Hetty, Aggie, Helda and Nora for their crimes or something, and you visit them each individually to clear their names. Citizenscape is brutal. After Hetty says the witch hunters will be after her before long, he just says, "Goodbye, nice knowing you." Perhaps you can hide in here if they come around knocking. Before we do anything just yet, let's check out some of the other areas around Rimmington to see what we're working with. So there's a small wheat field just behind Anya and Hengel's house. The closest windmill is near Lumbridge though, so that's not a lot of good to us. I do stumble across Melzar's maze, though it's locked right now so we can't get in. Just outside of the maze is the cabbage and onion field. We do try to check out the crafting guild, but we're turned away. Apparently they are really exclusive, so we're just not good enough yet. They will let us into the cow pen, however, so that's a start. There are a bunch of hobgoblins hanging out on this peninsula near the crafting guild. They seemed friendly enough at first, though before long they started attacking me, so it's time to get out of there. There's a small chemist's between Rimmington and the docks, with a few people sitting around. Chansey is a gambler, but he's not very friendly, and wants me to leave him alone. A man named Hops is busy drinking and doesn't want to talk either. Finally, a man named Da Vinci seems to be painting, and he calls talking to me humiliating, so he doesn't seem too friendly either. The chemist seems a little nicer, but he doesn't have time for me either. He does let me look at his books though. Citizenscape is not really that interested in them, however.
I can alter your physical form for a small fee of only 3,000 coins. Would you like me to perform my magics upon you?
I don't have money for that. Say, that's a cool amulet. Do you have one like that which I could buy?
I have non-magical amulets like mine for 100 coins.
Oh, I can't afford that either. Maybe another time. Well, I've talked to everyone nearby, but it seems that I don't really have the money for much. I think it's time to start mining. I'm going to start with mining clay. It's not much experience, but I think it's a good way to start for a few levels. I did already get one level on Tutorial Island for mining. Here's level 3. And that's a full inventory. Time to bank in Falador. Okay, now let's get back to the mines. Now that I've mined a full inventory of clay, I think I'll start copper. And here's level 4 mining. I did manage to find an emerald while mining, that's pretty lucky. Here's level 5 mining. I've completed a task for Adventurer John in Lumbridge too by getting level 5. Here's level 6 mining, and level 7. That's a full inventory, let's go bank it. On the way to the bank, I'm attacked by a highwayman. He's not close enough to Falador for the guards to deal with him. I'll have to keep a watch out for that from now on. We'll quickly go to Lumbridge and see what Adventurer John has for us. It seems that he's set up some tasks for us to complete. He wants us to get to level 5 in mining, woodcutting and fishing, for which he'll reward us. He does give me a free iron pickaxe and some ores, which will come in useful later. I think I'll even out my tin and copper, then look into woodcutting and fishing. Back to the mine. And there's level 8 mining, level 9 mining, level 10 mining. Let's head to the bank. There are a couple of wizards standing between the mine and Falador. One of them is named Maligius Mortifer, and seems to be the leader. Hey, what is it that you're doing here, and why do you keep creating fungus?
I am the great Malignus Mortifer, wielder of strange and terrible powers. I am mastering a branch of magic that few dare to attempt, necromancy.
He tells me that necromancy is frowned upon by other wizards. though along with others Melzar used to study necromancy. Is that the same Melzar who's locked himself away in that big building near Rimmington?
The very same. The forces required to control necromancy are very difficult to control. Melzar's concentration slipped and his spell rebounded on him, driving him mad. He still practices magic, but with amusing results.
Oh, so not a great aspect of magic for a novice to learn.
No, you'd be better served visiting the wizards in the tower south of Draenor Village.
Are you part of that group of wizards?
I detest them. They don't look kindly on my practice of necromancy, though each of them have tried it.
So, what's with the fungus?
Necromancy isn't fully understood. Sometimes you raise the undead, sometimes you get mushrooms.
I see. Well, best be off. It's time to start the woodcutting grind. Right now it's just one log at a time with regular trees, but soon enough I'll be able to cut the oak trees too. There's level 2 woodcutting, and level 3, level 4, and level 5. I can visit Adventurer John in Lumbridge now for a reward. Let's bank these logs. The villagers of Rimmington have told me that imps have passed through their houses and stolen some of their goods. I'm going to try to take down some of these imps and get their stuff back. Okay, well my combat skills aren't very high, so I'm not doing a lot of damage. The imps just keep teleporting to places I can't follow them, so I'm not taking any down right now. I did manage to get level 2 attack doing this though. I'll come back to this later. Let's get started on fishing. I ran into this man named Skippy down on the shore when I was heading over to fish. He was missing a boot and raving about dangerous mud skippers. He has a giant bite mark on his leg, but he was a bit incoherent. I told him I'll be careful down there, but I don't think that there's much I can do for him right now. So right now I can fish for shrimp with a net down here. I'm looking to get level 5 fishing, as Adventurer John has asked. Then he's going to reward me with some upgrades. There's level 2 fishing, and level 3 fishing. That's level 4 and a full inventory. Time to cook these shrimp. So I'm using the fire down here near the chemist right now. I didn't bring my tinderbox, and this is a permanent fire, so it'll do for now. There's level 2 cooking, level 3 cooking, level 4 cooking too. Level 5 cooking. We can now cook all the fish we'll be getting here. That's all the shrimp. I did burn more than I cooked, but that's alright. We'll get better soon. We can sell the cooked shrimp to the general store. We'll start to get a bit of money that way. Only 8 coins, but it's something. Let's get back to fishing. There's level 5 fishing. We can go claim our rewards from Adventurer John now. Let's finish this inventory of shrimp first. There's level 6 fishing too. Anya and Hengel saw that I was cooking shrimp to sell at the general store. They've said that I can use their range, so that makes things a little better. That's level 6 cooking, level 7 cooking, level 8 cooking. We actually managed to cook more than we burned this time, so that's a definite improvement over the open fire. Let's go visit Adventurer John. Okay, so John has given us some more logs and an iron axe for getting to level 5 woodcutting. He's also given me a fishing rod and 100 bait that I can catch sardines and later herring with. He's given us this lamp for 150 experience in either of mining, fishing or woodcutting. I'm going to go back to mining now, so let's put it in mining. While I was walking around Lumbridge, I saw a man who was the spitting image of Citizenscape. Looks like I fit right in here already. I tried to speak to him about how similar we look, but he was more interested in telling me about the local markets. Okay, confession time. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have seen farming experience in my experience tracker on RuneLight, or seeds in my inventory, as we've been doing other tasks. Because the farming grind relies on a lot of waiting, I've actually been farming concurrently while doing other skills. Farming is definitely going to take the longest out of all the skills I have to do in Rimmington, so it's necessary to mix my goals around a bit. This is also while I've been hopping between the other skills. Because this video would be far too long of a first episode otherwise, I've split Citizenscape's journey in Rimmington up between 2 videos instead of 1. The other video will be out not long after this one. I've made my way back towards Rimmington from Lumbridge. I'm helping out this farmer by picking crops for him. I can cook the potatoes I've gathered on the farm for some experience and good food. I'm back at the range in Rimmington to cook these potatoes. There's level 9 cooking. I did burn a lot of them, but that should be enough. It's time to serve some justice. The potatoes to eat, I was able to win this fight after a bit of time. I also got level 3 attack. With this highwayman defeated, I did get a new cape. New cape, new season, old fashion. We'll pick and cook a few more of these potatoes, then get back to mining. There's level 10 cooking. Still burning a lot of the potatoes. Let's bank those quickly. There are more imps here near Falador. I think they're planning a raid. I managed to kill one, finally. What do we get? A hammer. I'll take it. But now let's get back to mining. I found this geode with some paper in it. It seems to have directions to a point on the map, but Citizenscape doesn't know what that means. It is a medium level clue scroll that we can do down the line, but for now we don't know what a clue scroll is or what coordinates are, so we'll have to come back to that down the line. That's level 15 mining. Now we can mine iron. That's our first task completed. And we'll get a few iron ores to show the people of Rimmington that we can do it. Let's bank those real quick. We've started to harvest potatoes in our farming grind, so I'm going to cook those real quick and get a few more cooking levels. That's level 11 cooking. The levels are starting to slow down a bit with potatoes. We're still burning a lot of them, unfortunately. It was hard fought, but I did manage to kill another imp and get 4 attack in the process. What did we get? A mine talisman. I'm sure that will come in handy later. We haven't done rune mysteries yet, so we don't know what this is, but it looks special, so we'll save it for later. I need to collect a sack of onions and cabbage for the villagers and deliver them. I have a bit more money now, so I can purchase the sacks from Sarah's farm. I don't want to spoil too much for next time, but we've already been acquainted with Sarah. We'll fill this sack with onions, this one with cabbage. Let's drop those off for Anya and Hengel. While we're here, since we have a little money, let's buy an oak shortbow and 10 arrows from Brian. And we'll buy a needle and thread from Romick. We can also go back and visit the makeover mage and buy an amulet. Hey, I'm back. Can I still buy an amulet from you?
Of course. It's 100 GP and remember, it's not magical, just stylish.
Thanks. What do you think, sheep? Yeah. It's time for us to get back on our woodcutting grind. I'm going to train fire making at the same time, so let's get to it. Even with my levels in woodcutting from earlier, fire making still caught up and overtook the woodcutting levels. There's 15 fire making, and there's 15 woodcutting. Now I can cut oak trees. And burn oak logs. Another 2 skills checked off the list. Time to start fletching. I need to travel to Lumridge to buy a knife for fletching, as they don't sell them here in Rimmington. So I'm going to buy this one today for 7 coins. Could have also bought one from Trader Stan in Port's Room, but this felt better as I've already made purchases from a general store. Fletching is seriously slow experience per log. It's only 5 experience to fletch a log into arrow shafts or a short bow, while I'm getting 25 experience for cutting it down, 5 times as much. It was also 40 experience to burn, which is just 8 times as much. Once I hit level 10, I can double that per log, making longbows, but it's still very slow. I also won't be able to fletch oak logs into an oak shortbow until 20, but I can start fletching oak logs into arrow shafts at level 15 for the same experience as a regular log shortbow, just not taking up inventory space. And there's 8 fletching. I also have some logs in the bank from earlier, so I'm going to fletch those for a bit of experience. I've been selling the short bows that I've made to the general store for a bit of cash, and it saves me running to Falador and back to bank. I've managed to get to level 23 woodcutting from level 15 in the same time as getting fletching from 1 to 8, so there you can see how much difference the experience actually is. Okay, now that I'm level 10 fletching, I can make longbows, so that will effectively double my experience. It will be a little better money also. That's 15 fletching, and also level 27 woodcutting. I can start to cut oak logs into arrow shafts now for the same experience as longbows from regular logs, so I'm going to switch to that. I will also be getting a fair bit more woodcutting experience. That's my first bird's nest, and it has a ring in it. Let's see what I get. A sapphire ring. I'll wear it for now, but I'm going to sell it later on. I can really use the money for construction right now. So I got another bird's nest about 3 minutes later. Has a green egg in it. It doesn't smell off, and there were no birds in the tree, so Citizenscape is going to hold on to it for now. A mysterious hooded man wants me to run through his maze. I thought this might be Melzar, but he said he wasn't. We managed to get through the maze easy enough, and get a few things on the way. We got a good number of Chaos Runes, which will be useful later on. Citizenscape doesn't know what Chaos Runes are specifically, but he did cast one spell on Tutorial Island, so he is somewhat familiar with magic and runes in general. Okay, so we're over level 30 for woodcutting now. We did actually get to level 33 by the end of this grind, and this is why we're not capping ourselves. I won't be actively training it other than to do tasks, however. Okay, we've reached level 20 fletching and can now fletch oak shortbows. They're 16.5 experience each, so that's a bit of an increase. I do want to get an inventory of those, so let's just get a few more logs. There we go, and that's level 21 fletching too. I showed my oak shortbows off to Brian in his archery shop, and he told me that I can string them if I get bowstrings. Where do you get bowstrings?
I get them supplied from Falador where they spin them, but they grow the flax in Taverley and Catherby.
Citizenscape doesn't know where either of those places are, but we'll keep this in mind when we come upon them. With the fletching grind done, I got a bit of money for selling the bows to the general store, and I'm going to go back to fishing and cooking now. So I have another confession. While I was farming earlier, I was whisked away to do an Evil Bob random event and did get 650 fishing experience, which did put me to level 10. Now that we have a rod and bait, as well as level 10 fishing, I will need to catch both a sardine and herring. I already have the levels for this, so this should be pretty easy, but I'm going to fish with the rod until level 15, when I can catch anchovies. I'll also be setting up a fire on the shore and cooking as I go, then I'll sell the cooked fish in Rimmington and repeat. So I did get 16 cooking and 16 fire making on that run. With one more fish, I'll have 15 fishing. Now I can catch anchovies. I'm going to fish with the net until I get 2, that way if I burn one I'll still have 1 to cook successfully to complete the task. I've decided that I'm going to fish until I've used up all my bait. I need to get level 21 cooking to use the churn, so I may as well get that from fishing. Okay, I'm out of bait, so I'm switching back to net fishing. Still 2 cooking levels to go. So I got conscripted while on my way back to Rimmington. They want to toughen me up, so I'll be right back. Since I'm selling the fish in Rimmington already as part of the run, I may as well use the range here to increase my cooking success rate. There's 20 cooking, 21 cooking. Now I can churn milk into cream. That was my last fish too. That was a good stopping point. I managed to get 18 fishing during all that. Okay, let's milk the cow and churn the cream. Another task complete. We'll leave the makeover mage the cream as a gift for letting us use the churn. Level 11 attack. You may be wondering how I got level 11 attack from that. Remember, I was conscripted and got levels from that. And that's where we leave it for today. Tune in for the bonus episode where we complete our other tasks and find out our next destination.